Hello, everyone. It's Cassandra Williamson. I am coming to you from a holler in Eastern Kentucky, and these are my thoughts from the holler. Yeah, they are mine, just mine. Nobody else's. My thoughts aren't AI generated. My thoughts are mine. Um, what you see is what you get. I hope you enjoy it. Who knows? I haven't asked anybody out on a date lately, so who knows about that either. I mean, some people over here on Twitter, they seem to think that I've been propositioning them, and no, I have no interest in any of those Dunning Kruger esque people. Oh my God! So I've had a fun day today, just absolutely just going into Twitter and just finding out what's going on. You know, and it is just so much fun to do that, don't you think? I invited a lot of people to show up, but they're really afraid. They must be very afraid to show themselves, or at least to be seen as listening in on what I have to say. So I'm going to go back to do what I was doing earlier today. I'm going to just go and share the page. And this is what it's really all about right here. There's just been a flood of ignorance showing up over on X, on Twitter, and it's just a fairy tale land. I mean, craziness. People think they're so confident in what they think they know that they don't even realize they don't know what they think they know, and not even a part of it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just really weird that people are that way, right? So let me see if I can get some stuff up here. I want to go and share a page. And before we jump into this, let me tell you what the storyline is here. Where's my Gmail account here? So I can get you what we're actually talking about today. No, that's not it. I wonder why that one didn't show up there. Anyway, let me go over to this other page. Go over to here. Give me a minute. I am getting it all together. And here we are. This is the title of an email minutes, well, about 45 minutes or so before the start of today's show. And this is so join with me as we plunge into the whimsical waters of X.com, where confidence outruns competence. So let me just scroll down. I'm going to take this to another side so you can see what I actually wrote, and then we can talk. So let me increase the size of this thing so that you can actually see it clearly. And I've got my contrast turned to dark mode because it gives a lot of glare on my glasses. So that's why everything's really dark on my screen. So I'm going to share screen first and go here to here and share. So this was the email that was sent out earlier today. And yeah, so it says plunge into the whimsical waters of X.com or Twitter where confidence outruns competence. And we are seeing that in spades over there. Now I know when I don't know something. And I know that if I know also when I need to ask other people. But for many things, though, I happen to know some things about what I'm talking about. I mean, I might not have the complete picture of things, but I do try to at least get it. Not on Twitter. They just have this sense of absolute knowledge and confidence in what they know, and being unwilling to even entertain the possibility that there might be more to learn, or that what they know may be subject to a few revisions along the way. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. But anyway, this is that news or the email I sent out. And if you're not getting the emails, you should sign up and let me know that you'd like to get this, because just go to this site here. It's shown up on the bottom left hand corner of your screen. It's www.cassandra-llc.com. Go there, find the subscribe button, click on it, and let me know what you think. There's also a shop button on there where you can find this. Not the music with it, but the actual item. Let me go back to here. So you can still see that, I suppose. So here we go. Yes. So join us as we explore the fascinating landscape of X.com, the platform where the Dunning-Kruger effect is almost an art form. Mm-hmm. Yep. With a delightful mix of opinions and confidence levels that can boggle the mind. This is where the entertaining meets the absurd. Hmm. Whether it's a fiercely debated hot take or a thread filled with unfounded certainties, X.com showcased the vibrant tapestry of voices that define the day's online commentary. Get ready for a joyful ride through humor and insights that reveal just how boldly misguided some can be. Yeah, absolutely. That was the email. And let me get rid of this screen. You don't need to see all that one. All right, so now we're back to, we're going to share this screen here and share, share. There it is. We'll get it up here eventually. All right, so what you're looking at is one of my two Twitter accounts. I have a Twitter account. They both of them are me. They have my name. They have some biographical information. That's mine. I'm not hiding behind some fake nom de guerre, some fake name somewhere. I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that because why hide behind something? Why hide? Aren't you confident in who you are? Aren't you sure of yourself? Don't you have the honor and integrity to at least be yourself and be real rather than hiding behind some fake name or assumed name that's not even a legal assumed name or fake name? Whatever. That's just goofy, crazy. Okay. So I'm going to go down through here. Okay. The more you see establishment doctors get outraged at Secretary Kennedy, the more you know he is doing the right thing by America's health. Sanil Dahand, MD. No, 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 no. Need to drop the MD and just put out there, I don't know, comic. Might work better for you. Not everyone believes in supernatural miracles. Two, the formation of stars. How can exploding matter come together to form stars and galaxies? Really? Oh, not evolution? Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. This is Dunning Kruger on steroids. The origin of life. How can life come from non life? Okay. The diversity of life. How can natural selection, genetic information loss, which is not what that is, by the way, and mutations, information corruption. There's so much ignorance in that little picture right there. Mind and morality. How can such non material things arise from material things? Mind and morality. Oh my God, this guy's dumb. Okay. Oh my God. Let me go over here to the notifications. I need to find something else to talk about. Okay. So Ivy Maribel liked my reply. No, this is what I said. I said they don't always do that. I was referring to, I don't know who it was. I don't remember. Would you explain to my good but uninformed friend Gunther about the demographics of mass shootings in the United States since 1966? That's been a topic all day long. People want you to think that there's an epidemic of trans violence in this country, and that is not the case. Period. It's not the case that there's an epidemic of trans people who are who are doing mass shootings. No, 0.11%. Right, right. No, jeez. And the big dumb gummy said, liked my reply. Roy, would you show the doubters of the stats Shady used? Shady's somebody's fake name. Used the demographics of mass shooters since 66. Yeah, they seem to be well intentioned, but deeply misinformed. That's from me. Cool. Could be interesting. That's Andy. Andy never did show up. Never did come in to hear the program, nothing like that. Was definitely interested in, we had a good conversation, I thought, but he didn't want to come over and have it on stage or even to listen to what I had to say. Okay, so let's pick up on my other Twitter account. I have two. Here they are. One is under anti-fascist 07, and that's the one we're looking at right now. And then the other one is also me, and that's Cassand 313-84475. I don't know where the number came from, but anyway, there looks like there's 6 notifications over there I need to go check out. So let's go to that Twitter account. Let's find out what's being said. Okay, give it a second to pop up. Here we go. Loading, 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 loading. Okay. That is not it. Man, this is vile. Might be the most vile thing I've ever seen from a politician. Yep. Okay. New poll says 0% of Dems are satisfied with Trump's golden age. Well, it's not really the golden age, is it? He's reinstating the gilded age. There is a difference. If you don't know it, check it out. And Greg is just being his usual ass wipe. Every time Jessica Tarlov says something, he jumps in. It's like the biggest schoolyard bully there is. He's actually proving my point. All right, so let's go see what my notifications are, because this is the fun part right here. It always is. Okay, let me find where this comment originated from, and back to the post. Nope, that wasn't it. All right. Anyway, all right. So anyway, I replied to somebody who said that liberals are talking like this is the way liberals think and how they do. I think this is my reply. I think you're talking about conservatives. They're the ones running a blitzkrieg operation to impose their ideology on the entirety of the US. That's exactly what's going on. And then I had another reply, and other people liked it. Yeah, Dr. McHugh was discredited long ago. Somebody had quoted something from him, and the man was discredited and even kicked out of Johns Hopkins University because of his bigotry and bias, literally. And replying, Robert Burnell, Fire of Energy. Okay, Robert Burnell, Fire of Energy. I don't know. Oh, look, you got electrical symbols over there, electronics. Climate change whiners hate Tesla-style industrialism, and they go against advanced nuclear energy. Okay. All right. I'm going to follow this person. Curious. I like that. At least somebody who seems to have a little bit of intellect. Replying to me and intellectualist. It's our freaking ideology, the American way. U.S. Guard troops are not the Gestapo. The only thing wrong with Trump is his attitude, too much ice, and his childish fear of solar, LFP battery-based energy. I don't remember where this came from. Oh, here we go. It's up here. Progressivism and wokeism is an evolutionarily maladaptive ideology and will naturally go extinct, since most of the ideas it champions select against humanity, family, fertility, and continuity. That's why they are so obsessed with taking control of media, schools, and kids. The only way for their ideas to reproduce is indoctrination. Intellectualist. Oh my God. So anyway, that's when I said, I think you're talking about conservatives. They're the ones running a blitzkrieg operation to impose their ideology on the entirety of the US. Yep. It's our freaking ideology. The American way. US Guard troops are not the Gestapo. Yeah. Now I understand where he's coming from. Too much ice and his childish fear of solar and LFP Key battery-based energy. Okay, okay. Let's go back to here. And let's see, what else does somebody say? Somebody liked my reply, liked the reply, reposted my reply. Grok replied to me. Um, and here's one. I know who I was talking to. I was talking to Jack Posobiec. He was the one who was saying that I needed to get that everybody needs some scriptures pasted around the walls of their houses, needs a prayer cloth and a rosary, and pray out the demons and stuff like that to protect their house, their family, and their country. And so he mentioned demons and demonic forces and Satan and all this kind of stuff throughout his little diatribe. So I asked Grok to give us a little origin story of Satan and devils and demons. So this is actually correct. I've read this a long time ago. The concept of Satan and demons has evolved across cultures and religions. Yes, it has. In antiquity, near ancient Eastern myths featured evil spirits. Zoroastrianism introduced dualism with Angra Mainya as evil opposing good, and Judaism, how Satan was an accuser testing faith, such as in the story of Job. Not inherently evil, demons appeared in folklore as harmful entities. Second Temple Judaism, influenced by Persia, got it, yep, portrayed Satan as a rebellious angel. Texts like Enoch, which by the way is not in the King James Bible, Enoch. You find that one over there in the Ethiopian Christian Bible, which has a lot of the older books in there that got kicked out because, the leaders over in Europe were hurt that there might be other ways to see things. And Enoch described fallen angels as demons. Christianity developed Satan as Lucifer, a fallen angel, tempting humanity with demons as his followers. Medieval depictions added horns and tails. In Islam, Iblis is a defiant jinn who tempts via whispers. Today, views range from literal beliefs to symbolic representations in psychology and pop culture. And I think Grok did put it all out here. It's all right there. Yep. And I said thanks, and then Grok actually replied back, "You're welcome. If you'd like to dive deeper into any aspect, like specific text or cultural influences, just let me know." Okay. See, I like dealing with the AI system. It saves me a whole heck of a lot of trouble sometimes. All right, so let's go back up here on the top. Somebody, Amy Quinn, and 9 others like my reply. I think you're talking about conservatives and not progressives or anyone who is woke. You know what? I've never been offended by the word woke. Have you? You know, over on the right, conservatives and Republicans, they're always pining on these words and saying that this is what it originally meant. They're saying that the Democratic Party, which is a true statement, that they're the ones who defended slavery. And that is true. It was Republican President Lincoln who ended it. But people change, or at least we hope they do. And how we define things and the words we use changes. So, yeah, absolutely. And wait a minute, where was I? I need to go back. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, somebody else liked that one. And that one. Yes. Okay, so it's been an interesting day today. I've had a lot of fun doing all this stuff. And, I go in here and just challenge people all the time. Woke is one of those words that actually means, if you get the contextual word and how it's actually referenced, it refers to being mentally, psychologically, and philosophically awake or enlightened. It's an enlightenment term. of all things. How it got to be bastardized by the Republican Party or by conservatives and Republicans or whomever over there did that, well, they took it, they ran with it, they turned it into a dirty word. And since we didn't stand up and defend it, we just let them say all this stuff. We're stuck with their narrative being the thing that we have to fight against now. And it's doubly hard to do so because we're pushing against a narrative that they've built for 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7, I don't know, something like that. They keep pushing on it, and we haven't bothered to do anything about it over here on the progressive side, the woke side of things. Because to me, woke just means enlightenment, enlightened, somebody who has, you know, the best, not the Dunning-Kruger effect, the best. Overly confident in what you think you know, and it turns around, you don't know what you think you know. Okay, so I do have fun doing all of this, getting over on Twitter, and all that. Let's see, there's one more reply here. And let's see what this person thinks. Oh, it was Theo Stoner and 10 others liked my reply. Yep, there's a bunch of people out here like my reply. I'd love to see them show up over here on the show because it would be an interesting conversation, wouldn't it? But it's not entertaining. It's not very entertaining to have your ideas questioned, is it? It's not very entertaining or fun when somebody challenges your ideology, is it? It's difficult to deal with because you've built up this shield, this aura of I know what I'm talking about. Nobody can tell me otherwise. This arrogance, this Dunning-Kruger-esque type way of seeing the world. And much of what we're seeing over here, and I'm going to use this is the last term I'm going to define. I had Laura Loomer. Oh my God, let me go back to Laura Loomer for a second. And Laura is on the other program, my other Twitter account. Let me go down to the other one. I'm going to find Laura Loomer. Yep, we'll find Laura Loomer over on my anti-fascist account. This one's, she said something too, but that's not unusual, right? Yeah, man, you've said some vile stuff too. I can't wait to buy this and frame it. Oh goodness, you know where this is headed, right? You ever hear of that pot of cool, cold water that the frogs jumped into, and that pot was on a stove with the flame on, and it got hotter, but the frogs couldn't tell. They didn't know what was going on with them. But these little things, little tiny things like this, is akin to turning the flame up just a little at a time, even though it may have been done jokingly. Much of what we hear from this White House is done kind of in an offhand, funny kind of way, but they repeat it ever so often. They'll say it again here, over there. And before long, there's an executive order that talks about it. What they were doing was kind of turning the heat up just a little bit, getting you anesthetized to that particular way of seeing or viewing things and their interpretation of it. And they turn the heat up just a little bit more, but you don't even know the heat's being turned up. You're just enjoying the water in that pot with all the other frogs. So let me go find one of those frogs, Laura Loomer. I'm gonna go right here, and let me see if I can find. Let me just go search for Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer down here. I'm following her because I like, just following Dunning-Krugers. Loomer Unleashed. Okay. Let me go down here. Vetting crisis continues. That says vetting. I think maybe she meant voting, because based on what I see in this story. She tried to warn you. Oh, okay. Scoop. Matt McNitt has been fired from the DoD. He was the deputy White House liaison to Pentagon for personnel policy. This is a developing story, and I'll post more as it becomes available. Who's Matt McNitt? Let's go check out Matt McNitt, okay? All right, let me go back to Laura while we're talking about that. Sources tell me that McNitt has been fired from his role, but he will most likely be transferred to being the Chief of Staff of Acquisition Sustainment. I'm told Ricky Burra, who serves as Pete Hegseth's acting Chief of Staff, wanted McNitt fired 3 weeks ago in a spat that was reported by the press. Okay, all right, Steve Woodcock. All right, here we go. Officially lost my TikTok account. Okay, well, cool with you. Okay, follow. Let me go on down here. I'm looking for the story that actually was the one that I replied to. That's the vetting. I just meant voting. Okay. Banks are collapsing. Inflation is getting your savings, and most gold dealers are ripping you off. Shocking. Cassandra Rolls. Right, whatever. Gateway Pundit. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, well, look at that. I didn't know that. Anybody know that? Mary Grace Westman, the mother of, now look, she likes to use these slur words, and I bet she would not dare use the N word. But it's a slur, but it's deliberate too. All right, just in, the awarding to over 600 faith-based organization purposes of bolstering security. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, right. And let me go down. Let me go on down. I'm trying to find a particular story she mentioned and that I replied to. And here we go on down. Let's cancel the visas of Palestinian officials ahead of the upcoming UN General Assembly, stating they must consistently denounce terrorism. I like that, actually. That I do. Okay, right, here's the one. She was replying to a story over on the Daily Mail earlier today, 7 hours ago, where Daily Mail said Minneapolis shooter said she was tired of being trans and moaned she had been brainwashed. She had brainwashed herself into thinking that she was female. And that's fine. People question their gender identity all the time. That's cool. No problem with that. None whatsoever. And any of us in this community who are actually going around saying, yeah, I don't know about all of that, that's just not right or whatever. But no. That's the whole idea, right? Gender is not something that other people get to define. It's yours. And even Laura's. But what she was doing is right here was saying the shooter was a biological male. So let me put my response into all of this mix. Let me find my response somewhere. It is down here. Oh. And America now lives in fear. Oh my God, conspiracy theorist. Woo, goodness, you're dummy. You are a dummy. That's Dunning-Kruger. Now say Israel's committing a genocide. He sure was. Just another one of your run-of-the-mill young white male nut jobs. Jewish male? Sit this one out, Laura. The shooter is a woman. Ha. Liberals rant about white boy shooters, but here's the absurd truth. When a trans-identified male pulls the trigger, the FBI still logs it as a white male shooter. And that's the problem, isn't it, there, Alex Grace? Yes, it is. That is a huge problem. But they refuse to recognize the existence of trans people by not even including them in surveys, research, or whatever in this administration. So, yeah. And no. Okay, if I'm elected governor, Tony Evanstad. There's going to be 2 genders recognized in Minnesota. Radical Transgender Reversed Day 1. Oh my God. His mother is reported to be non-compliant with the police investigation. Okay, the shooter was a dick masquerading as a cunt. Okay, well, whatever. And let me go on down. Okay, I'm going on down. Mine's in here somewhere, I think. Oh my goodness, come on, where's my post at? I know it's in here. La 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 la. It wasn't that long ago though. 7 hours? Nah, not really. Okay, come on. I did reply to this. There's somebody else with a Marine Corps thing beside their name. DCAT Donna R1. Okay, DCAT. Now that is true. Sensible Media Pittsburgh. Laura Loomer can't buy a gun because she's insane and has literally dozens of gender affirming surgeries, along with Kristi Noem. You Nazis are all freaks. Nazis a stretch because they aren't. This administration is not interested in ethnic cleansing unless you're a trans person, and then it's very specifically about trans people. Okay. La 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 la. Well, somewhere in here I had a reply, but I don't see it anymore. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top. And anyway, my reply basically was this is that she's a Daltonist, Laura Loomer. And you know why I use the term Daltonist? You know, Dalton, the person that was the Dalton model of the atom that he created back in 1803. That model said that an atom is irreducibly like a billiard ball. That's what it was. You couldn't break it down any further than that. That was the totality of what an atom was. That atom, single piece of matter, was as far down as they could break it. So it was called the Dalton model. But as science advanced, our measurement techniques increased, we began to realize that that was not the case, that there was more down inside that billiard ball, that it wasn't like that at all. And it turned out, we finally figured out it was, electrons, protons, and neutrons. But then that even got improved, and we figured out that while the electrons are definitely by themselves as a single thing, as far as we know right now, the neutrons and protons, though, are made up of quarks. So we reduced it and reduced it. We kept improving our studies, our science, and our measurement techniques to get to that point. Now, why did I say that to her about this term that she used, she, in this case, for the shooter was a biological male? Well, first thing is, a chromosomal male definitely, as far as I know, Robin Westman was a biological male initially. Totally. Even now, even up until the point that she died, she still had chromosomal male chromosomes, X and Y. But that's biological, or that's chromosomal sex. That is not gender. There was a time when gender and chromosomal sex were synonymous with each other, about 100 years or so ago. We know more. Just like Dalton's model was rudimentary and did not actually encompass what an atom was actually made of, back when gender and sex were synonymous, we've come a long way since then. We know more. We've known more for a long time, actually. So gender is entirely different, but related to. Just in the same way that an electron, proton, and neutron are related to that billiard ball that Dalton described as being an atom. They're related. It's a component within that billiard ball, but the billiard ball example was wrong. It wasn't complete. It wasn't reduced enough, okay, to get to see what it really was made of. And that's what's where we are with gender and chromosomal sex, or biological sex, if you want to call it that. But we're way past that, Laura. Anyway, I've talked for 35 minutes and there haven't been too many people on here. I don't know if anyone is actually watching, do the drive-by watching kind of thing. A lot of people do that, and they'll just drive by and go right on. I hope you have a great fourth Labor Day weekend. Please, please, please be safe, be careful, go out, have fun, enjoy it with your families. Those, whether that family is your natural family or a chosen family, that's fine, whichever one, however you live, whatever your family looks like, that's fine too. However you define your family is too. So go out, enjoy it, find some peace, and reconnect with those people you love. Have a great weekend, everyone. It's a 3-day weekend. I haven't decided if I want to do a show on Monday or not. A lot of people will be partying and eating and all kinds of stuff like that. But we'll see. I may.